So welcome back, Brian. Just reinforcing what we worked on last week with the shoulders, okay? So we try to obviously get the left shoulder under the chin more comfortably, because last week, if you look at the left-hand side, we were getting the hands too far behind you where the yellow line is. You see that? Now, even though you're getting a good turn, the hands are a little bit high. But you're going to start to be more comfortable now. You're going to get the left shoulder comfortably under the chin and your hands just above your right shoulder. Okay? So we want to ideally be where the blue line is. But it's because you've got long arms. Alright? So, but it's okay. You're still getting a great shoulder turn. It's just understanding where the height of your hand should be. Okay? So I'm going to use something today which will help you understand where the height of your hand should be with a good shoulder turn. Okay? Just to be aware of, it's not major, but just the sway, but it's got to do with a comfortable left shoulder under your chin. If you look at Tiger here on the left-hand side, his left shoulder gets to where the blue arrow is, inside of his right knee. Yours just gets past the right knee. You see that? So it's just kind of turning with the club in the middle, or your left shoulder in the middle. You get that, right? So Brian, we touched upon last time an impact position. We wanted your hips to turn, right? This is awesome at impact, what you've got right now. You've got a hip turn of 35 degrees open, right? It's in the green zone. And all of these are almost the same number. You see that? Your shoulder turn, your shoulder tilt, and your hip turn, which is great. We're trying to get a good ratio between all of them. And the good thing is your shoulder turn is slightly higher than your hip turn. But what you're doing is you're releasing your hips first on the downswing before the shoulders, which is the right way to do it. So great job on that. Like you said, the only thing we're going to have to start cleaning up now is understanding where your hand should be when you do this. Okay? Because that's releasing here and the casting's happening instead of having that 90-degree angle in that club and the arms. Alright? We're always identifying the cast that's happening. Here it is. And I'm noticing here, look at his right elbow compared to yours. The good reference point for you is when you turn your hips, I want you to get your right elbow down to your right hip when you turn it. It may help you hold the hinge longer, but we'll work on the hinge as well in this, okay, on the downswing. But your lower body and your hips are turning good now. At impact position, we can obviously see his. Look how his right elbow is in front of his right hip, not behind it like yours is. Your right elbow is actually extended right now. His is still bent and in towards his right hip and his right thigh. Okay? So this is awesome, by the way. All right? Just by you thinking about holding the hinge, the one on the left was your before when you started casting, and the one on the right is when you just thought about it. And look how much hinge you have, which is great. All right? And that's awesome. By bringing the right elbow into the right hip, you see it's closer on the right-hand side, which is the good swing, versus the one on the left. And obviously, you even still got a greater hinge. I actually got more of a hinge than Tiger. You've actually got it like Sergio. I'll bring up Sergio Garcia right now, which is awesome, all right? And I'll show you how much hinge you can have. So looking now at impact, the hinge between the two, right? The one on the left, the hands caught up with the club and it's leaning straight. The one on the right, the hands are ahead of that club head at impact, which is good. Okay? So much.
My right shoulder also dropped more.
Absolutely, and I'll even show you the number here. Yes, it did, but it's exactly the same. We're probably a frame apart, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
The shoulder tilt in the right shoulder down is good, but it looks better on the right because your right elbow is more in and down. So the one on the left is your impact when you first came in, right? Those are all your numbers. The one on the right-hand side, those are all your numbers. I'm just looking at your body position now, right? Okay. One thing to note is obviously is how close your hands are to your hip, but maybe your right elbow. Even though your arms were a little bit extended, but you're starting to see more of your back now. Also notice how your butt is more pushed this way on the one on the right versus the one on the left. So ideally we want the one on the right hand side. This is the one on the left when you first came in. But the one on the right, we still want your right elbow tucked in towards your right hip. But your head is actually leaning to the right, which is good.